long term. Okay, now I've a great pleasure in introducing Joy Rosenberg, who's going to talk to us about the interprofessional education. It's a CPD opportunity. So I'll hand over to Joy now.
Thank you for having me. I'm really glad to talk a little bit about interprofessional education. There's a magazine article coming out on similar topics soon. So these are basically opportunities for CPD for clinicians in pediatric habilitation. I'm Joy Rosenberg, and I lead the program at Mary Hare, affiliated to University of Hertfordshire. And co-writers for this few minutes of presentation are Sally Lavender and Owalda, both who have participated in IPE with the educational audiology course. That's our little graphic there showing the bridge opportunity that exists with educational audiology linking school and family and home and clinic. And that's pretty much what we're all about. Next slide, please, Kath. So a little bit of introduction about interprofessional education and then a timeline about what's been happening with us. IPE is a growing enterprise. It's a catalyst for change. You might have recently seen the ManCAD Journal Club session on that topic. So there are two studies that I cited there, two recent studies, and they interview a number of students who say that's one of the best, probably the best part of my university training. Groups like World Health Organization are coming together to think about IPE in bigger ways to look at comprehensive care. And so that's what we're about, is comprehensive care between education and health and pediatric habilitation. So a very brief timeline about what's happened with the University of Hertfordshire and the Educational Audiology Master's degree is that in 2016, with heads of audiology and audiology practitioners, we completed a professional opinion survey that had a few outcomes. One is related to some things Lizanne was talking about a few slides back, professional registration now for the first time ever for educational audiologists in the UK. And we're really pleased about that, and linking with BAA in terms of a memo of agreement and accreditation on behalf of our CCP to achieve that. But the two outcomes that really may be of most interest to you are standalone modules, so the ability to register with the university to take just one module. These are well aligned to the higher training scheme pediatric habilitation module. And then also an IPE pilot study, which we engaged in 2019-20. We had folks, a clinician come to each one of our residential weekends. There are 4 per year. These people were invited to apply for 1 free place per weekend, and they joined in the student role, which was really fantastic. And we'll have some information from Sally and Amjad in the next slides to tell a bit more about that. We had a hiatus in 2021 like the rest of the world, and next year we hope to go to phase 2 for in-the-moment benefits and hopefully to develop some impact data, again with these residential weekend invitations for 1 free place, to apply for 1 free place, and again university registration in relation to the HTS. Finally, we're celebrating our course's 2nd BAA Student of the Year award, so you saw her picture a few slides ago with Susanna's presentation. Next slide, Kath. Here's what Sally Lavender, who is the team lead for pediatric audiology at Royal Surrey County Hospital, had to say after her participation. In terms of the BAA higher training scheme, educational audiology modules are very efficient and a very effective way to meet the requirements of M-level credits and the placement sessions. They align well with the learning objectives. She also talked about integrated receivers. With the increased use of such, educational audiology modules are a great route to essential background terms and shared working that is necessary for these technologies. And thinking about new career paths, Sally said, educational audiologies are a great foundation for interprofessional working that will be encountered in the role. Multidisciplinary teams, children's hearing services working groups, and just ordinary clinical appointments with pediatric habilitation. Next slide, please, Kath. Amjad Owalda, clinical audiologist at Royal Gwent Hospital, also participated in our interprofessional education and had these things to say, amongst others. We just chose a few tops. In terms of roles, educational audiology modules provide a better understanding of a variety of roles and the delicate cooperation needed between specialists. He viewed it as a valuable experience and said the interactive sessions gave opportunity to hear real life experiences and ask relevant questions and hear a variety of solutions, including from students who were deaf themselves. And finally, he said he would highly recommend it. He would definitely encourage clinicians to take educational audiology modules to understand the bigger picture facing individuals with hearing losses and assistive device implementation, and also even for those with adult patients who are just transitioning from pediatrics, perhaps requiring special equipment in daily jobs. Next slide, please, Kath. So that's just a little bit about what we're doing and the people who have participated in it, what they had to say. You can find out more or you can apply for these various aspects of continuing professional development, either for university registration on standalone modules for the whole PG DIP, or for a guest invitation to apply for a free place to attend lectures only at a residential weekend. There is our website. I appreciate you can't click the links, but you can search Mary Hare Postgraduate Courses. There's my email address. And finally, the British Association of Educational Audiologists have also a website with a lot of information about the role and about the training involved. And thank you very much for letting me come along and talk a little bit about what's happening with clinicians and educationalists on our program. Thank you, Kath.
Thank you very much, Joy. And this is really interesting because, of course, with the development of the higher training scheme modules, this fits in very nicely. So yes. Great, it's all working well so far. Good. Thank you very much, Joy. It's a pleasure to have you. Yeah, thank you.